Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to our weekly Learning Your Lunchtime webinar. Fantastic to have everybody joining us today. And we're going to be talking about time management tips. So as you go into the new year, 2022, fantastic if you can set some goals and get into your studies. But it's going to come down to the daily discipline that you need to apply. On a daily basis, are you able to prioritize the work that you need to do? Are you able to commit to getting those tasks done? Are you able to look past the distractions? Lots of other things that are more interesting and more exciting to do, even though you are spending money on a degree or you're, got a scholarship and somebody else is paying for it. Somebody is working hard to get you into your studying process, and you're going to have some pressure building up, especially around exams and deadlines and assignments. And something that I've seen happen quite a lot, especially in our Student Success Coach Facebook group, is people really asking for help, practical principles, techniques that you can apply to manage your time better and get focused on the critical tasks that you need to deliver in your studies. And these principles you can really apply to anything else in your life. There's always projects and work that has to be done, whether you're running your own business or whether you're in a corporate environment, or if you're running some sort of projects at home, home improvement or whatever outcome you're trying to achieve. We all need to allocate the right amount of time and prioritization to things if we actually want to get them done. So that's what we're going to be talking about in this webinar. A very warm welcome to everybody joining us this afternoon. It's great to have you here. As I always say, once we get past 12 o'clock on a Friday, the weekend has started. I'll also make available my time management course a little bit later on. And what would be really great is if you could just introduce yourself, let us know where you're from, and then we'll get into some questions and we'll just pick up on the hot topics around time management and where you guys are struggling. I've got some examples in the webinar that I'll talk you through, some examples of how people have actually used these principles and applied them, very much in a studying academic context, but again, those principles can be used in any area of life, and I'll take you through some of those examples so you can actually see what people have done and how they've applied these principles to be successful in their studies. So do pop a note in the chat. Let us know where you're from. And as always, guys, just make sure that you take full advantage of all the benefits of the Student Success Coach community. There is the Facebook group, so you can come in there. And in fact, some of the examples that I'll be sharing today are from the Student Success Coach Facebook group, where people have used that group to drive accountability for their studies and for the work that they need to do, even on a daily or weekly basis. So we'll be looking at some of those from the Facebook group, but I've also offered you there to join the Facebook group. It is a closed group. I moderate it, but there's no supervisors, there's no lecturers. It's an absolutely safe space for you to get the help from people like you that are also going through very similar circumstances, struggling and battling with similar demands on your time, that you can get support and assistance from. So good afternoon, Miss Ena and Lovo, engineering student at WITS. I was also an engineering student at WITS 20 plus years ago. Great to have you here. Rami, marketing student at University of Pretoria. Great to have University of Pretoria here. Fantastic to be here. Great that you could join us as well. Tato is a political sciences student from the University of Pretoria. Happy to be here. We've got WITS, we've got Pretoria joining. Fantastic. LSG, hello, I'm a postgrad student, UP, studying genetics. Welcome. Really great to have you guys here. And really what I want you to leave here today with after this call is not only access into my course on time management, but also the practical principles and techniques that you'll be able to apply almost immediately to help you get back in control of your day. And look, it is the beginning of the year. We're all going to the beginning of the year with sort of good aspirations and hopefully a bit of a clean sheet in terms of our priorities. But very quickly, you'll start to realize, many other things that will creep in and start to pull you away from the critical things that you want to get done. And that's going to require daily discipline. There's simply no other way of getting around it, even if it's a PhD or a master's or a bachelor's level degree. You are not going to be able to have a massive short burst at some stage to do the bulk of the work. It's only going to be a daily discipline of habitual allocation of time to the critical tasks. And I'm going to show you both the allocation of time and the accountability to drive that allocation of time, and then how you then manage those tasks once you've decided what it is that you need to work on. Lots of Pretoria joining us today. Melissa Samuel, fantastic to have you with us. Pravesh is doing a PhD, University of Pretoria, also welcome. That guy, Thidzi, BCom investment management student at UP as well. Great. So guys, I think we've got a nice group today. Let's get into then just some fantastic examples of time management principles. So just going to go straight into it. So this is Ramona Stemmer, who is a member of our Student Success Coach Facebook group. And what she's doing here is she's applying the principle of burning her boats. And really, this is this idea of making some level of a public commitment. And it doesn't have to be public. It can be in a closed group like this one, or it can be to an individual. But let's just go through what she put on here, which was a post into the Facebook group. So so this was 6:45 in the morning. So now she's woken up in the morning and she knows she needs to make the most use of her day. And of course, we've all been hit with COVID. A lot of us are not yet going back on campus. We don't have this idea of the boundary between the home and the work or the campus. And you've really got to get control of your home life, because the couch is there, the TV is there, the fridge is there, the distractions are there. And while those are nice to have in terms of being accessible to your kids and your family life, those blurred boundaries are also something that you have to manage. So 6:45, Ramona wakes up in the morning and she knows she needs to get in control of her day. So she says, guys, I'm burning my boats. And burning your boats really comes from this idea that in one of the naval conquests hundreds of years ago, the ships landed on the beach and they wanted to take over that island. And the commander of the naval fleet told the men to literally burn their boats. And what that meant was that they would not then be able to escape. If they did not take over that land, they could not jump back on their boats and then retreat back from where they came from. And what that did for those naval officers was it completely changed their mindset. They had no back door. They had no escape route, if you like. They cut off their plan B. They burnt their boats. And that's really what it is. And once Ramona, and if you take this path and apply this principle, you burn your boats in the sense that once you've made this commitment, you will be emotionally invested in what you commit to. You will not then want to come back and say, gee, guys, I backed out. I watched 3 hours of Netflix. I didn't even get around to starting the first task that I'd committed to. And if you don't make that commitment, then it's only yourself that you are having that internal battle with. And it's going to be a very difficult psychological battle for you to win, because you can self-justify anything, right? You can justify, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or, the assignment's only due next Friday, or look, I really need to give myself a break. I've had a tough time lately. It's just an hour of Netflix, or, it's just some other activity that's not going to move you forward in your studies. So she says, I'm going to burn my boats. And then she says, I'm going to commit to doing 3 units of her law of evidence module by midnight tonight. So there again, now it's a specific goal, 3 units in a certain module of her studies. And then she was very open and honest. And I really commend Ramona for this. And this is, again, the benefit that you get from coming into the Facebook group. I put the link on the chat there for any of you that have joined a little bit late. Just scroll up and find the link and jump in there. And this is the safe space that you get inside that group, where she says, as she goes on, I've been struggling with some personal issues which have resulted in me falling behind schoolwork. Now, that is the same for everybody. We've all got personal issues. We've all got real challenges to getting things done. Never mind COVID and pandemic and all of the catastrophe that has hit all of us in many different ways over the last couple of years. There's no difference. We're all in the same boat. But what Ramona's done here, she's taken ownership of it and she's put it out there, and she's not made any excuses for it. She also then says, look, I have procrastinated. I know that I'm not the best at it, and I, am guilty, but I want to take back control. So this is such a critical, and that's why I love this example, because the control sits in your hands. You are the master of your destiny. You are the master of your time. You're the master of your 24 hours every day. You absolutely are. The fact that you're here now in this webinar, you've made a choice, you took action, you are here now listening to this. You do have a much higher degree of control over your time and your day than you actually think that you do. So, wanting to take back control of her academics by catching up with her modules starting by today, please help me by holding me accountable today. Right. So, that effectively, and that's, within the first 5-10 minutes of you joining this webinar, if you were to put that post, if you join the Facebook group and you put that post in the group there, you then already apply the principle of burning your boats. And my offer to everybody is to do that. If you are struggling to get something done, if you have got an assignment that you're just not getting around to, you've got something that's niggling you in the back of your mind. There's a saying that says you should eat frogs for breakfast. You should do the hard things at the beginning of the day. If you've got something that you're just not getting around to, and you put a post like this in our Facebook group, and it doesn't have to be in our Facebook group. It can be to a mentor. We've got mentors in the group as well. It can be to a friend of yours, someone that's going to hold you accountable. It could be to a family member. It has to be someone or a group of people that you trust and that you then feel you've made some level of formal commitment to them.